If you are so frustrated and discouraged because you keep trying to declutter and organize your home, but it just keeps getting messed up again, then this video is going to give you a little insight into why that is and help you figure out how to move forward. This video is in response to a question that was submitted to my Ask a Declutter Coach series. And so this question is from Jake in Fort Worth, and he asks, why do I have such a hard time getting organized? Well, there are 4 basic reasons. It's skills, systems, structure, and behavior. So let's dive in. Sometimes the reason that people struggle to declutter and get organized is really just the skill set. We're not all taught just basic principles and organizing methods as a child because maybe our parents struggled with it and didn't know how to do that. But there's really some basic principles and methods, and once you know those things, you may be fine. You may just be one of those people that needs information. So for instance, the basic principles of organizing are 3. Everything in your home has a place. It is intuitively located to where you will use those items, and they are easy to access. That's it. That's the basic 3 tenets of good organizing. Now, there's organizing methods, and you've seen those all over YouTube, streaming TV shows, books, but basically they're all the same. For you to truly organize and declutter your space, you have to see everything you have. So at some point you have to be able to pull it all out and then make decisions. It's either called purging, editing, culling, whatever. You are making decisions on what to keep and what to not keep. And then what's left over that you've decided to keep, you're going to organize in a meaningful way. That's basically the whole process of any organizing method that you're going to run across, including mine. And I'll put that in the comment in the description box below, so you can check out that video. And then there's hacks and shortcuts and organizing product and all that kind of stuff. But that's really all part of just information. And you can find any of that if you just do your own research. And that really may be all you need. But there's 3 other things that may be getting in your way. The second thing that may be causing you to have trouble staying organized or getting organized in the first place is systems. And systems just mean the way you do something, the pattern, the steps that it takes to do an activity in your home. An easy example is the mail. And I will say that of all of the things that I help people with the personal organizing, that paperwork is probably number 1. People just hate papers. And mail is part of that problem. And so having a system for dealing with incoming mail is really important. Who's going to take the mail from the mailbox to inside the house? And then when it gets inside the house, does it get separated into recycling and trash and important stuff? Who sees it next? Who takes it to the different people in the house that would want to see the mail? Who processes the important stuff? Who makes the decisions? Who does the bill pay? And then who puts the paper that you need to keep away in a filing system or a meaningful location? That all matters, because at any of those points, you could get tripped up and the system could break down, and then you just have piles and piles of paper. Laundry is another example. Who does the laundry in the house? How do the dirty clothes get collected? Where do they live until they're washed? Who carries the dirty clothes to the washing area? And then who actually does the laundry? And then who folds it? Who puts it away? All of those things, especially in a family with kids, can be really significant points in the process that either make it successful or make it not successful. And your house is full of either dirty clothes or clean clothes that haven't gotten put away. So without a good system that everyone is bought into, you have the potential to have a lot of piles of things because people in the household just don't really know what the next step is or their responsibility in the system. A third thing that gets people tripped up is structure. And by that, I mean physical things like drawers, shelves, the way a closet is shaped. All of those things are really important in the organizing process. If you go back to your skill set, you know that you have to have a place for everything in your home. So as an example, if you go into the garage and you want to organize it, and you have boxes and lawn and garden stuff and seasonal decor and all kinds of stuff sitting out there in the garage, if you do not have any shelves, you're in trouble. You have to have structure because there is no place for those things to go. The same thing is in a home office. You need drawers, you need shelves, you need places to set the items, even if they're contained in containers and bins. Those have to sit somewhere. And so it's not realistic to think that just because you've gone through sorting and editing, that's all you have to do for the space to be organized. And the other thing is that custom closets kind of get a bad rap because it sounds like a luxury item and a luxury expense. But so much of the time, it's not an unrealistic amount of clothes and shoes and whatever that the person has, but they just have a lousy designed closet. And I will say, not to put too much shade on new construction, but the basic builder grade closet that for decades has been included in homes is just not designed well. And we can go into another video about how that works. But even if you are a minimalist, you still need good design. So structure is not just about the physicality, meaning hooks on the wall, shelves, drawers, but it's about those things being well designed. And you know, just because you may see that you have a shelving unit available to you, it may not be the best shelving unit for what you want to organize in that space. The shelving depth may be off. The shelving width may be off. It may not hold the bins that are containing the things that you want to organize. So measurements matter, design matters, and you have to have structure to really be organized. And the fourth thing that really gets people stuck in their desire to organize and stay organized is really a big one, and that is behavior. And behavior encompasses so many topics. And, you know, it's the place where when you feel like you're chronically disorganized, like you have struggled with this for years, you know, maybe your whole life, it's usually because of the behavior component. So behavior can come in some subcategories. One of them is ADHD. Your brain may just be wired that you struggle with compartmentalization, with sequencing. You know, we know so much resources out there about ADHD brains. And that really may be something that trips you up, but it doesn't have to. I'll come back to that in a minute. Another part of behavior is just habit. You may have done something over and over again because initially when you first did that thing, you just did it because you had to, because of what was happening in the moment, or maybe it was a structure issue. Maybe you used a certain part of your house to store something because you didn't have shelves and you got used to it being in that space. And so it's just natural to you. You don't even think about it anymore. But it's causing an issue with a system or with how you're housing something. And so just changing that habit or behavior can revolutionize the whole process and your space. Another thing that affects this behavior issue is your lifestyle. So if you work full-time, you have kids, you have pets, and you come home at night, you are not thinking about how can I declutter and organize my house. You may be wanting that to be true. You would love to just come home and it be that way, but you don't have the energy or the time or the resources sometimes to make that happen. And so that's part of the behavioral issue, is until you can find a way to incorporate even a tiny amount of decluttering and organizing into your system throughout the household, or if it's just you into your daily routine, you're going to feel like it's never going to be better. And that's not a great place to be in. And another reason why behavior is such an important component in this is because all of our actions or our inaction are based on our beliefs. And at the core of every decision that you make, everything you say to somebody, everything you buy, everything you get rid of, it all has to do with the tapes that are playing in your head, usually from childhood. And a lot of them have to do with trauma. And it could be trauma with a lowercase t, or it could be uppercase T. It can be a life event that happened. But there's something that happened where you got the message that you were a messy person, that you're unreliable, that you're disorganized, that you don't follow through with things, that you're lazy. And when those things are repeated more than once, especially from adults and people that you perceive as authority figures and important and meaningful to you, it really does get embedded. And our brains just take that thought, and as we continue to think it, it becomes a held belief. And that belief is the basis of every action and experience that you're going to have. So, unraveling those beliefs, getting to the core of when that got set, and feeling like you can release that and heal that is really the most important part of all of the 4 steps that you can do, especially if you've really struggled for a long time. So I believe that people with ADHD, and I suspect I am also an undiagnosed person on that spectrum, it's not so much that you have ADHD and so, it's a life sentence to being disorganized. There's so many things that you can do to practice and help that, skill set improve. But I believe that even the bottom line of the thought or the belief that you have ADHD and what that means, how you define that, and how you define your ability to function and create the life that you want within that, makes a difference. It's all a belief, and beliefs can change. So I want to encourage you, if you feel like you have had a struggle with clutter and just organizing for years, and you feel like you're just broken and it's just who you are, it's in your DNA, it's, something like my mom was like this, and so I'm just gonna be like this. I just want to encourage you that it's not true. It's all based on beliefs, and beliefs can change. And so if you are the kind of person that just needed, the information, and you can self-correct and research things and come out with the outcome you want, that's really the first 3. That's the skills and the systems and the structure. But this last component, the behavior, is something that you probably will need help with. And that's why there are declutter coaches. And so just want you to know that there are resources out there, and I would be happy to be one of those. It's not as scary as you think it is, and it's not as hard as you think it is. You just have to go in and do some inner work. So reach out, don't be afraid, don't be embarrassed. As a professional organizer, people immediately, when I come, want to ask, have you seen anybody worse than this? Like, am I the worst you've seen? And of course, they're not. They're just normal. It's the same thing when you've had long-term clutter. You think about yourself as someone who's in a bad situation, and you're not. You just need some help transitioning those thoughts and beliefs and that mindset. And you can do it. Decluttering and organizing is truly a life-changing experience. And so I just feel privileged and appreciate you watching all the way through here to the end. And if you would like, subscribe and share this video with people that you feel like it could help, that would be tremendous. This video was in response to a series called Ask a Declutter Coach. And so if you have a question that you'd like to submit that I can create a video about, I would love that. So just drop it in the comments, or you can email me at info@theconsciousorganizer.com, and I'll be happy to answer that. And I just hope to see you on the next video. Thanks so much.